Hey guys, it's me Maro, and it should be pretty obvious already, but I love Godzilla. I mean, water is wet too, you know. He's been a huge part of my life ever since I was a small dumb kid. Well, I mean, that kind of implies that I changed over time, but I'm just kind of a dumb guy in the internet now. But even throughout all these times up till now, Godzilla has been a big part of my life. From all the way back in the 2010s when I watched my first Godzilla movie, that being Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, up till now watching every new release when they come out. There has been a lot of high peaks during these many years, but one of the greatest moments that has ever happened for me in my time of being a fan of the Big G was back in 2014, when the very first American, not you, Godzilla movie was being shown to everyone. Godzilla 2014.
This beginning section of this video was copyrighted, so sadly, I can't have any music on here, because apparently, that's way too hard. I don't know why YouTube has to be very unfair like this, but we're just gonna have to go with it.
It was a mind-blowing moment for me. Seeing that a new Godzilla movie was being made in America, for me, was awesome. I remember the day me, my brother, and my two cousins watched the first trailer, seeing Godzilla in this new light, well that's gonna be ironic in a bit, was so cool. Seeing all the new promotional art, toys of the characters, and all the little leaks were some of the most hypest moments ever for me as a Godzilla fan. So you could imagine when the movie came out in theaters, I was so excited to see it. In which, I never saw it in theaters. Wait, what? Yeah, surprisingly, I never saw this movie in theaters, like, at all for some reason. I don't know if it was me being too scared, having homework to do, or just didn't want to go back then. I honestly don't know what it was, but I never watched it in theaters, which kinda sucks to be honest. It wasn't until footage of it was being put on YouTube, where I regretted my decision greatly, in which I instantly became a loving fan of this movie. Even up till now, I still enjoy it quite a bit. And then shortly after, me and my brother went to, I think, Walmart or Toys R Us, when Toys R Us, existed, and we got the NECA Godzilla 2014. In other words, basically our first big Godzilla toy. And oh man, we both loved that figure, man. We did stop motions of it, drawings of the character, and even made Lego figures of the Muto so that he can fight them. It was so cool. But then we kind of lost him while moving to a new house, and I was pretty bummed out about that. I got the NECA 2019 Godzilla. Those times back then hold a very special place in my heart and my childhood. A time where I became a lifelong Godzilla fan, a time where Godzilla came to me, a time where Godzilla came to everybody. But now I'm older, and it kind of makes me sad that I can't really live in those moments like those again. Times where Godzilla, in my opinion, was at its peak. The newer movies are cool, and I do love them a lot, but it just doesn't compare to the huge hype back then. I really wish I could relive those moments again in today's world. Only one can dream. Alright, let's see here.
Hey Gojira Films, can you buy me 2014?
Notice how it says December of 2023. Currently, it's February of 2025. What the actual fuck, Hiya? The Hiya Toys Godzilla 2014 and the Hiya Toys Female Muto. Both from the movie, I think it was like, what, Kong Skull Island? I'm not picking up those figures. Hey Gojira Films. Two of Hiya's recent figures in their Godzilla line. Well, kinda. The Muto figure came out in around October of 2024, and Godzilla came out in December, well, more like February of 2025. These two figures were some that I was looking forward to for the longest of times. For a while, I wanted an articulated Muto figure, and I wanted to get a replacement figure for my NECA Godzilla since I'd lost it a while ago. But now Hiya has come out with these figures, and oh my fucking god, Hiya, I give you my consent. Wait, god damn it! Valentine's Day already passed. I don't really think I need to explain who these two are, but I'll sum it up for those who don't know. Basically, Godzilla here is, well, Godzilla. But the Mutos are a new monster made to fight Godzilla, in which they were going to reproduce and... Hey, wait a minute. Aren't they siblings? Godzilla had way too many reasons to kill them. So yeah, that should be enough to explain who these two are, so let's look at the boxes that these two figures come in. First, we got Godzilla's box, in which I really love Hiya's new art style for their boxes, because this box right here is actually a reference to Godzilla's victory roar at the end of 2014 when he decapitated the Muto, in which it's beautifully made. However, I do feel like it would have been a bit better if the box was orange and maybe looked like the movie poster, because, I mean, orange and red fits the color scheme a bit better for 2014 than blue, but it's alright. And then we got the box for the female Muto. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean just Muto. This box, in my opinion, is a bit better than Godzilla's, mainly due to the color scheme fitting the color of 2014, and the pose of the Muto it's kind of cool. It's actually a little funny, because the colors for these two boxes, they're complete opposites. Although one big difference is that Godzilla's box is maybe like twice the size of the Muto's, which is pretty cool. But these boxes, they need to be put aside.
How in the fuck?
Because we gotta take a look at the actual figures, and oh boy! These two look absolutely amazing! They look like they've been taken straight out of the movie. Like, I'm getting that big Roger Rabbit effect here with these two. I think that's the right term. It looks like they just took the 3D model and they put it in the thing and it looks cool. I think that's actually just what they did. First, let's look at Godzilla. Now, to some of you at first glance, he may look a little similar to the previous Hiya Godzilla figures, like 2019 for example, but it's actually not the case. Here, Godzilla is shorter, has smaller spines, and an elongated tail. The feet are also a tiny bit different as well, so that's kind of cool. He's also a lot sharper than 2019, which, honestly, it kind of reminds me of the 2014 NECA figure. I don't know if a lot of people will be able to relate to this, but putting the tail on the 2014 NECA figure basically turned people's hands into Swiss cheese. I'm not even kidding, so just be mindful when handling this guy, because holy mother of God is he sharp. People might be wondering why he's a bit smaller than 2019, but it's actually movie accurate. The paint here is also a bit different. He's a lot more charcoal black and has a brownish underbelly running all the way to the tail. So yeah, he's pretty different from the 2019 design. And in my personal opinion, I like the 2014 design the best out of all of the Monster vs. Godzilla designs. I personally just like it over 2019, 2021, Evolved, all that. Other stuff to mention is that 2014's eyes and teeth are painted very well on my copy. I've seen on a lot of people's copies that the eyes and teeth seem to be painted pretty sloppily, but thankfully, they are painted very nicely on my figure. I will say the bottom teeth could maybe have been painted a bit better, but thankfully there isn't any spill over the lips, so it's all good. And hey, at least it doesn't look like this. Although in my opinion, I still say it probably would be a bit better if the teeth weren't painted, because like, you can barely tell the teeth are, different color in the movie. It's just kind of, it's really dark. You can't really tell that Godzilla's there for the entire movie because it's way too dark. So 2014 is sculpted and painted very well here. But what about his rival? Nope, not that one. The Muto here is also sculpted very well. All of the legs here are sculpted pretty decently, and they didn't forget some other details like her neck? I think that's her neck, but I don't know. Also, they didn't forget the, sack. Instead of the rough rock texture on Godzilla, she has almost a tree-like texture on her arms and legs, which is pretty cool, and also very accurate to the movie. Now with the paint. Compared to 2014, who's charcoal black, she's painted with some grayish brown paint with a beige underbelly. There's kind of a bit of weird paint choices with the back legs, because the feet are inverted. The lighter paint should be on the inside, not the outside. Thankfully, the mouth and eye paint is pretty good. I would actually say it's a bit better for her not to have any teeth paint, because I don't know, it's kind of be a little sloppy since she's got very tiny ass teeth. So overall, these two figures look pretty good. They seem to be 100% movie accurate with their sculpt and paint, and it really brings me back to the year 2014. Really reminds me of simpler times. Times when nothing really mattered, since you were just a kid back then, enjoying funny dinosaurs fighting each other. Times where most people didn't argue on who was the strongest in the Godzilla franchise. Or times when Spinozilla never existed on YouTube. Okay, wait, that one's a lie. So they both look really cool, but how do they move and pose? Let's take a look at Godzilla first. The head is on a ball joint, the mouth can open, and the tongue can move, so you can make him be freaky. The neck articulation is actually redesigned a bit. If you take the head off, because on mine it's kind of loose, you can see that there's two dumbbell joints connected on a plastic cylinder, which means theoretically you can get more range and movement out of it than the 2019 figure, which you can, but because of the way the head is sculpted, it's a bit limited, which kinda stinks. The neck can make Godzilla look up that far and down pretty far. I figured out that if you remove the first ring piece from the neck, you can technically get Godzilla to look up pretty high, but only from a couple angles. The arms have also been redesigned a bit as well, to where the shoulder is on a ball-jointed ratchet? I kind of feel a bit of click when moving the figure around, along with some resistance in some parts, so it might be a ratchet joint. The bicep, I think, is on a hinge joint, which can bend pretty far actually. Same thing with the elbow. And finally, the hand is on a ball joint. The body is on a big ball joint, which can move around only a bit. The legs have also been redesigned as well, in which you got a ball joint the thigh, but you got a hinge joint at the knee and a swivel at the lower thigh, which is new. Oh, and a ball joint the foot. And finally, you got 10 ball joints at the tail, giving you the ability to pull off nice curvy tail poses. So the posability on Godzilla here is actually pretty decent. Almost every part of the articulation here is updated from the previous designs, to where you can get him in a few more dynamic poses. Well, besides the head. But yeah, the articulation for 2014 is very, very nice. Now onto the Muto. The head, neck is on a hinge joint, same with the mouth. The front arms are on a hinge joint in the shoulders, a hinge joint in the elbow, and a hinge joint at the hand? I think this is part of the hand, maybe? And a hinge joint at the meat hooks. Then for the second arms here, you got a hinge joint at the shoulder? I don't understand the anatomy of this thing. Basically, hinge joint, hinge joint, hinge joint, hinge joint. Basically the same as the front arms. The legs here are on a ball joint, which has a pretty similar ratcheting system with 2014's arms. The knees are on a hinge joint, and oh, the leg on my copy is stripped. Oh well. It's the only part of the figure that has a bad joint. The calves are on a hinge joint, and did I just get unlucky when buying the last copy on Big Bad? I honestly don't get it. Hopefully when you guys get this figure, because I know you're going to want to get it, it doesn't have issues like this, because it honestly sucks a bit. Oh right, the foot is on a hinge joint. The body is on a hinge joint. Man, take a shot every single time I say hinge joint. This figure is just full of them. But thankfully, the last mini arms are on a ball joint here and a ball joint here. And yes, every ball joint and hinge joint can be a swivel! The posability on the Muto here is pretty good. I will say that in some places it's a bit limited, and I do wish it had a bit more ball joints instead of hinge joints. And I also do wish the head was a bit more articulated, since it can only really look up and down, which is a bit lame. But for a first articulated Muto figure, it gets the job done fairly well. So with the combined articulation of the two figures, you can make both of them fight each other in very cool and dynamic ways. I remember seeing on Instagram a picture of a guy who posted the two of them together to recreate the Kiss of Death scene from the ending of 2014. But looking at it, may have took the term kiss a bit too seriously. So now that we've seen what these two can do, let's see what both of them come with. Godzilla comes with fists? Like, that's it? Just fists? I mean, I'm not really complaining too much, because it's at least something. and something kind of cool. But did he ever use fists in the movie? Like, I actually don't remember if he did. I'll probably have to check or something. It is a simple replace the hands accessory, but I think it honestly would have made a bit more sense if he came with something like clawing hands? Like, I don't know, something similar to how SH does it with their figures. I'm not saying remove the fist accessories, because they do look pretty cool, but a bit more would be kind of nice. But now we move on to the Muto, and she comes with nothing. Like, literally nothing. Come the fuck on, Hiya. You could have added something like the nuke that had the eggs on it, maybe like a train accessory, just something. It just feels a bit considering that this figure costs the same as... Oh wait, hold on, we're not there yet. I don't know, man. I can give Godzilla a pass, kind of, because he at least comes with something, but I cannot give this figure a pass for it. Who knows, maybe when they show off their male Muto figure, maybe he'll come with accessories, but he'll probably get shown in like October of this year and released in December of 2037 or something. A year and 2 months, Hiya! Not impressed, Hiya. Make your figures come with more accessories, just do it. Well, after that little tragic minute, we come to the size comparisons. But before showing off these figures with some other figures in my collection, the both of them scale very well together. The Muto is shorter than Godzilla, just like in the movie, so that's a plus. She isn't like, I don't know, taller than him, not fitting the scale with the other figures, isn't painted at all, and is like $200, or just, you know, just straight up a shitty figure. Here they are next to the Neander's Nendroid, the Robot Spirits AV Unit 1, the Hiya Toys Rodan, the SH Monsterettes bootleg Mechagodzilla. Yes, I have this figure. I don't know if you saw it in my one little stop motion I made. And finally, here they are next to the Hiya Toys Godzilla 2019. I really appreciate that both of them are scale accurate with the rest of the Hiya figures. It's very cool. And as a little plus, here they are next to all of my Hiya figures in my collection so far. So now we move on to the price, and both of them are $50, the same price as all the other normal size Hiya Godzilla figures, in which it's not a bad price. I will say that since they are smaller and they barely come with anything, them being the same price as this is a bit... it looks a little weird, right? I don't really care all too much, because I personally value them to be a bit more than the retail price, for personal reasons, but I honestly would not be surprised if people were a bit weirded out with the price of the two of them. So overall, my thoughts on these figures should be pretty obvious. I absolutely love these two figures. They are very accurate to the films they are in, has a decent amount of articulation, and scale very, very well with the rest of the figures in your collection. I highly recommend picking these two up, if you can find them. Yeah, these two figures, they're being scalped to hell. Right now, 2014 is still available on Big Bad while I'm writing this video, but the Muto is just gone. It's just straight up gone. The cheapest I can find here on Amazon or eBay is like $100, which... that is not worth it. Like, I'm just speaking objectively right now. $100 for this thing, which comes with nothing and is smaller than some of the other figures, that's not worth it. Thankfully, I got the Muto for retail price, that being $50, which is thank God. And I got Godzilla for... free? Wait, what? Oh, right. It's time to move this topic aside and tell you all my real thoughts on this figure. Specifically, Godzilla. This figure right here is special. Very, very special. This figure was actually bought for me as a late birthday gift from my great, great friend, Gojira Films Productions. Gojira Films has made a couple appearances on my channel before in a bunch of random funny videos and some Let's Plays. And when 2014 was shown and when my birthday was coming around, he wanted to get me 2014 as a little, gift for my birthday, which just makes it all the more special. Not only is 2014 my favorite Godzilla design from the Monsterverse, but this is the first time in my entire life that I've gotten a gift from a friend. Not family, obviously. I get gifts from my family all the time, but a friend. This figure is not only something completely new to me, but it brought back so many memories from 10 years ago when I first saw 2014. It really just brings me back to those days. Simpler times. This figure is so special to me. And I have to give a huge, huge thanks to Gojira Films. Because, he got me this figure as a birthday gift. And if you haven't already, please go subscribe to Gojira Films' channel. It'll be linked in the description below. He makes a lot of funny content and a lot of cool stop motions. I've gotten some sneak peeks on some of his newer stop motions he's working on, and just saying, you guys are in for a treat. So head on over to his channel and check those out. And just check out his other content as well. Show the man some love, because he got me this cool figure, and hell, if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. So thank you so much, Gojira Films, for the awesome, awesome gift. Oh, and also, thank you so much, Gojira Films, for being such an awesome friend. I forgot to write this in my script because, I'm a dumbass, and I guess I'm a bad friend because I didn't add more emphasis to it, but thank you for being such a good friend. I forgot to write this in the script! Oh, right. I should probably give these figures a rating. I give Godzilla 2014 a very awesome 9 out of 10, and the female Muto a pretty decent 7 out of 10. Well, that's about it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I know I said my next review was going to be the Metal Build Unit 2, but I've been busy, and then 2014 came in, so I had to make this review, and it's kind of hard talking about the same figure twice. Once again, a big thanks to Gojira Films for gifting me this 2014 figure and making this video possible. And if you all like this video, consider subscribing and sharing this video around to the world. We are in the very beginning of 2025, so let's make it the best year for this channel as it can be. But, until then though, thank you all for watching and sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you guys later.